Where is she? Martha? Well, for the record, every other election, Martha and I switch who's going to collect our signatures. So I think next time it's my turn. Well, we just finished our first year in office on the Tucson City Council, and I want to recognize Katie Bolger, one of my leaders. We actually worked on helping get Regina elected and worked on helping get Regina and I elected as well, and also Diana Rhodes from Regina's office. Many of you are my biggest contributors at $20, and I hope you have been feeling like you've gotten your money's worth. During our first year in office, we fulfilled the campaign commitment by pushing forward with an agenda item of requiring that all new residential construction be plumbed for gray water systems. During our first year in office, we fulfilled the campaign commitment by working with Councilmember Trasoff to ensure that all new residential development be plumbed for solar-powered water heating. During our first year in office, we fulfilled the campaign commitment by working with the rest of the Tucson City Council to require that beginning in 2010, all new commercial development within the city of Tucson will be required to utilize rainwater harvesting. And during our first year in office, we worked with the Tucson Unified School District Board of Governors to sign an intergovernmental agreement so that for the next 30 years, the city of Tucson and TUSD can work on opening up schoolyards, neighborhood schoolyards, and turning them into neighborhood parks. Additionally, with the help of my great staff, we've sent out over 59 Ward 2 weeklies. If you don't receive our weekly email, please don't forget to sign up with either Katie Moss or Katie's on my staff. I forgot to say that part. Katie Moss is another great staff person we have from our Ward 2 office as well. She's a PC and a Ward 2 resident, so thank you, Katie. Just joined us. So sign up for the Ward 2 weekly. Join us for our many town halls, and we're taking a trip out to the landfill in the spring to see where your $14 a month goes. Our goal in 2009 is to ensure that the priorities of Ward 2 and the rest of the city make their way to our city budget. I believe that our priorities as a community are public safety, transportation, and parks. All issues that are ever important to the working families of this community. And we have a great staff that's going to be working together to ensure that our budget reflects those priorities. Additionally, beginning January 24th, our office has teamed up with our colleagues to promote something called family-friendly weekends. How many of you think about taking your family downtown on weekends? It's something that comes to the top of your head. Probably not many. But beginning this month, you can visit familyfriendlyweekends.org, which is a new website that's been launched, and we are promoting the hundreds and hundreds of events and activities that are available for families on Saturdays and Sundays in downtown Tucson. There's over 12 restaurants open every weekend in downtown Tucson, but we didn't know about them. So we're working together on that, we're working on the budget, and we're going to be working on making sure that we can be as responsive as possible to our residents throughout the city. We're not just elected in Ward 2, but we're elected citywide. And we have a great Democratic team, and we want to keep a great Democratic team on the city council because we together are committed to making Tucson the greatest community to live, to work, and to raise a family. I appreciate your support, and I look forward to it in the future. So thank you very much.
I'm the short one on the council. That's the constant joke. Stand up, Pima. Yes, Pima. I did that to her yesterday at a meeting, and we're the same height. Rodney said a lot about where we're going as a council and the council majority and how important it is that we have 6 out of 6 council members who are Dems. We don't agree on every detail of everything, but we agree about where we need to go, what we need to do for this community. And we do face real challenges this year. This budget is not going to be pretty. We need your input, but we also need your understanding, because we do not have the dollars to do everything. we want to do and that we need to do. And I would add just one thing to Rodney's list, because those are the priorities and those are government's responsibility of public safety, transportation, and parks. But I would argue also we set a tone on the human services side too, because that's part of maintaining a sustainable community, is making sure that the least amongst us have what they need to survive. I am a proud Democrat. Always have been throughout my life, but even more so now with the recent election. I can now be a proud Democrat filled with hope. And I haven't felt the level of hope I feel now since I was a 16-year-old dancing on the White House lawn for John F. Kennedy. When I was in my 20s and slogging through the mud as an organizer at the Poor People's Campaign, Resurrection City in New York, in Washington, D.C., fighting for poor people, I would never, ever have imagined that in my lifetime we would elect a brilliant candidate who also happens to be African American. It would never have occurred to me. New Year's this year wasn't January 1st. New Year's will be January 20th at 10 a.m. Tucson. He promises us a new direction for America, and I would argue that we, in partnership with him and his leadership, I mean, we surely haven't had leadership for the last 8 years unless it was down the tubes. With his leadership, our partnering with him, we're going to see dramatic changes. He keeps talking about going back to like the New Deal. You know, think CCC, and those of us old enough can think about, go out to Sabino Canyon and realize the bridges were built by the CCC. Think WPA, and for me personally, I'm going back to my mom when she was a young woman in the 30s, had a job through WPA with an actors group in New York, and it was one of the greatest joys of her life. Here in Tucson, unanimously, with my colleagues, we passed a major bonding for Rio Nuevo, which in a sense is going to be our own economic stimulus package. What's important to think is it's going to bring jobs, it's going to bring affordable housing, and the all too often neglected workforce housing that we need, and it's going to be impacting the quality of life, certainly what Rodney was talking about with family-friendly weekends. These are things that we can do without a lot of money, but we can do and create community. And I think that's what we Dems are best at, of watching out for the least amongst us and working together to find solutions. But I have to tell you, the only way it happens is because of you, not me. I'm up front. I'm the one out there actually making decisions, but you inform those decisions. But the pure truth is, you're the ones who get us elected so that our voices representing you can be heard, so that we don't get lost as happened in the Bush administration. You forget about those people because they don't have a voice. Because of you and the work you do, and I learned that when I ran for CorpCom, and I surely learned it again when I ran for City Council 3 years ago. I guess it's 4 years ago now. You are the ones who make it happen. I am in awe of you. I am in awe of the volunteer efforts you put in. I am in awe of your passion and your commitment. And I am ever so grateful for it, not just for me because you helped get me elected, but I am grateful for it for what you do for this community. And people don't recognize it. They don't know that. They don't see you. I do. And so I wanted to come here this morning really simply to say thank you so much, and what a chance we have to be energized in the year to come. But thank you from my heart for giving me the opportunity to serve, and for what we're going to have a kick year this year.